Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. This is going to be a review of some office decor. So, several years back, going back to the mid-2000s, I did some bouncer work. And did some bouncing at a college bar. So, here in Bowling Green, we have Western Kentucky University. It's a pretty big college. So, this is a college town. And the bar I worked at was more of a college bar. And obviously, college students, they like drinking. So there's going to be a lot of fake IDs being brought in. Well, I became really good at catching fake IDs. And the owner of the bar, he had a policy where if you turned in a fake ID, you got like $5 or $10 for an ID. So he encouraged his bouncers to catch fake IDs because ABC was pretty active. And ABC here in Kentucky means Alcohol Beverage Control. They're a law enforcement agency that focuses pretty much primarily on alcohol related type things. They're the ones who go out and look at liquor stores and bars and stuff like that. But they were pretty active, and our local police agency was pretty active back then. They come in and do bar checks and stuff like that. So he wanted the bar to be proactive in keeping underage drinkers out, because if you get caught as a bar with so many underage drinkers in there being caught, that could affect you being able to keep your license to serve alcohol or have a licensed premise. And he obviously didn't want that, because he not only owned that bar, but he also owned a few other bars. He kind of, at that time, had the monopoly on bars and nightclubs here in town. And it was just something that I guess kind of became a bit of a competition for me, I guess. So I eventually, and I can't remember at what point, but I at some point stopped turning my IDs in. It no longer became well, I just need extra money. It became a kind of a sense of accomplishment, I guess you could say, to be able to catch all these fake IDs. And what I ended up doing is I took a Dremel and I would drill a hole at the one side of the ID, and I had a cord that I would pass through it, and I made a necklace of fake IDs. And I got that idea from another guy who also had been really good at catching fake IDs. So I initially started out with I wanted to make a necklace of fake IDs and have this collection of fake IDs. Well, I did that for a few years, and I amassed a pretty large collection of fake IDs. So what you see right here is like less than like 1% of the fake IDs that I have. So it's like 0.00. It's like less than 0.01%. Like it's, yeah, I mean, I have stacks of them. And leaving the bouncing stuff, going into other stuff, I didn't really have, I guess, the opportunity to be checking IDs like that on a regular basis and amassing them. So if I had stayed in it, I can only imagine how many more fake IDs I would have. But the ones I did catch, I kept them. And I kept them for, like I said, kind of like that sense of accomplishment of the competition. You know, this is the basic, classic cat and mouse game. You know, these people were trying to trick me and trick the bar and getting in, and I was able to out-trick them. Now, granted, I know there's no telling how many people who actually got by. It's hard to, put a number on that, but I would say there's probably a good number of people who actually got by me. But I don't know how many, like I said, but I don't think it would be that many. It got to the point where people were calling to see if I was even working. And like I said, that the person who owned that bar also owned other bars, and one of the other bars that he had, they began experiencing problems with underage drinkers. And I think they had a fight, and was either campus police or city police had found someone there that was underage, I think. And so I ended up for a couple of weekends going from the main bar down there to the bar that was closer to campus to hit the door. And I didn't want people to figure out where I was going to be at all the time, so I'd actually jump back and forth. I would do Friday night at one spot, and then Saturday night I'd go back to the other, and then I would also do half nights. Like I'd do half the night at one spot and half the night at the other. That way they couldn't ever figure out what the heck I was doing, and it was getting to the point where they were calling those places and asking if I was working. And so that was when I started mixing it up and just doing the random stuff, when I started hearing from the bartenders that they were calling to see if I was working. So collect all these fake IDs. They were originally on a big lanyard, basically as a necklace, and they just kind of sat in the closet for a while. And a friend of mine, he sent me a photo of a map of the US, and the map was made out of confiscated fake IDs. And so like the state of Texas was just all Texas IDs, you know, etc. Kind of like how you see the Kentucky ID or Kentucky here made up. And I thought that was cool shit. And that was what I originally wanted to do, but I didn't have enough IDs for all of the 50 states. Like places like, you know, Delaware and stuff like that. The small ones, you wouldn't need that many IDs, but like Texas, I didn't have a whole lot of Texas IDs to be able to cover something that big. But I knew I had a shit ton of Kentucky IDs because I'm in Kentucky. So I thought a Kentucky fake ID art piece would be pretty cool. Tell my wife about this, and for Christmas she ends up getting me the wood with the Kentucky shape in it cut out. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. So all I had to do at that point was take the IDs and affix them to the backboard. So that wood you see right there, there's another sheet of wood behind it. And so I laid down the IDs where I knew the Kentucky shape would be. So actually a little bit past, so like this bottom row right here, there's another whole row of IDs under it. And then at the very, very, very top, there's actually another row of IDs going above it. And then same with like the very end right over here, that end right there, there's a whole nother row going right there. So I used more IDs than I should have to be able to make sure that I had all the lines of the map covered. So there's some IDs that are back there that you just simply cannot see. So laid those down, and then take that top board, lay it down over top of it, and fasten them together, and voila, I have a fake ID art piece that is pretty damn unique. I don't recall ever having seen any other art projects like this before, so as far as I'm concerned, this is probably the only one in existence in Kentucky, at least. Now, like I said, I did see that one picture that a friend sent me that was a US map with all the US IDs on it. I know that one exists, but as far as I know, this is the only one that exists in the world. But all those IDs up there, most of them are fake, like legit fake ones, or some of them are just confiscated from people because they were using someone else's ID. But yeah, that is the fake ID art. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense, thank you for watching.